अस्सलाम everyone, this is me इकरा एवरी from Rehan School Krongi campus और आज मैं again सेम कर रही हूँ.
Hey there. What's
Hi
up?
Maya, how are you?
Good, thanks. You were asking about air and the atmosphere earlier. Anything else on your mind today?
Okay, so Maya, my first question is, what is Earth?
That's a pretty big question. But basically, Earth is the third planet from the sun, and it's where we all live. It's made up of rock and metal, has liquid water on its surface, and an atmosphere we can breathe. Anything else about Earth you're curious about?
Okay, so my next question is, how old is Earth?
Earth is about 454 billion years old. Seriously, scientists figured that out by looking at rocks and meteorites. It's pretty wild to think about how long that is compared to how long humans have been around.
Okay, so my next question is, how was Earth formed?
Okay, so picture this. Billions of years ago, there was a swirling cloud of dust and gas floating in space. Gravity started pulling everything together, and as it spun faster and faster, it got hotter and hotter. Eventually, most of the material clumped into the sun, but some of it stuck together around the sun to form Earth and the other planets. Think of it like making a snowball, but with space stuff. Does that make sense?
Okay, what is the shape of Earth?
It's actually not a perfect sphere. It's closer to an oblate spheroid, which basically means it's a sphere that's a bit flattened at the poles and bulging at the equator. If you've ever spun an orange on a plate and noticed how it gets wider in the middle, it's kind of like that.
Okay, so my next question is, what are the main layers of Earth?
So the Earth is like an onion with different layers. There's the crust, that's where we live, and it's pretty thin. Below that is the mantle, which is rocky but hot and kind of squishy. Then you have the outer core, which is liquid metal that creates Earth's magnetic field. And at the very center is the solid inner core, also metal, but under way more pressure than anything we can imagine. Make sense?
Okay, so my next question is, what is the Earth crust?
Okay, so the Earth's crust is the outermost solid shell of our planet, the ground we walk on. It's made of rock and soil, and it's like a thin skin compared to the rest of Earth. There are two main types: oceanic crust underneath the oceans, and continental crust, which makes up the land masses. It's not one solid piece either, but broken into big chunks called tectonic plates that move around over time. Any particular part of the crust you want to know more about?
Okay, so my next question is, what is the mantle made of?
You mean the mantle? Yeah, it's the layer right below the crust, the biggest part of Earth, actually. The mantle is mostly solid rock, but over long periods of time, it can flow like a very thick fluid. Think super slow lava lamp. It's super hot down there because of heat from Earth's core.
Okay, so my next question is, what is the Earth core?
Okay, so the core has two parts: the outer core and the inner core. The outer core is liquid, made mostly of iron and nickel. And that's actually what creates Earth's magnetic field. Pretty cool, right? Then the inner core is solid iron and nickel, but super dense. It's under so much pressure, it stays solid, even though it's scorching hot. Does that make sense?
Okay, so my next question is, what is the atmosphere?
The atmosphere is basically the layer of gases surrounding Earth. It's mostly nitrogen and oxygen, but also has argon, carbon dioxide, and other gases. Super important because it protects us from the sun's harmful radiation, keeps temperatures stable enough for life, and creates weather patterns. What about the atmosphere are you curious about
Okay,
specifically?
so my next question is, why is the atmosphere important?
Honestly, it's kind of everything. I didn't quite catch that clear. You mean something? Like a thing in general? Or were you asking about something specific I said?
Okay, so my next question is, what is the hydrosphere?
The hydrosphere is all the water on Earth. That's all the oceans, lakes, rivers, ice, groundwater, and even water in the atmosphere, like clouds. About 71% of Earth's surface is covered in water, and that water plays a huge role in our climate and weather patterns. Are you interested in learning more about any specific part of the hydrosphere?
Okay, okay, so my next question is,
Great.
what is a biosphere?
Okay, so the biosphere is basically where all living things are: plants, animals, bacteria, everything. It includes all the ecosystems on Earth and all the parts of the atmosphere, hydrosphere, and lithosphere that support life. Think of it as the Earth's life support system. Pretty important stuff. What's on your mind?
Okay, so my next question is, what were the earliest form of life?
The first life forms were super simple, single celled organisms like bacteria. Think tiny little cells floating around in water. They showed up around 3.7 billion years ago. Over time, these cells got more complex, eventually leading to all the different life we see today. How did early life get energy? Well, a lot of them didn't need oxygen. Instead, they got it from chemicals from deep sea vents. Wild to think about how different things were back then, huh?
Okay,
Anything else
my
you're
next
wondering about?
question is, how did the life begin on Earth?
Ah, that's one of the biggest mysteries out there. Scientists think it probably started with simple molecules in the early ocean, something like proteins and DNA or RNA. Over time, these molecules got organized into cells, maybe near deep sea vents or shallow water pools. Another idea is that life came from meteorites, space dust carrying building blocks that landed on Earth and started everything. Honestly, we don't know for sure, but the ocean idea is what makes the most sense right now. It provided the building blocks and energy. Pretty amazing when you think about how it all started from pretty simple stuff, huh? Sorry, I didn't catch that clearly. Could you say
Okay,
that
so
again?
my next question is, what are fossils?
Fossils are basically preserved remains of ancient life. Bones, shells, plants, even footprints can become fossils. When a plant or animal dies, their remains get buried and slowly turn into rock over millions of years. Fossils help us learn about the history of life on Earth and how living things have changed over time. It's like finding puzzle pieces to figure out the story of the past.
Okay, what were the earliest form of life?
You asked that one earlier, too. The earliest life forms were these super simple, single celled organisms, basically bacteria. They were around 3.7 billion years ago. They have a nucleus or anything complicated about them, just these simple cells hanging out in water.
Okay, so my next question is what are the major areas of Earth history?
Earth's history is broken down into huge chunks of time, so get ready because there's a lot. We've got the Hadean Eon, basically before life really took off. Then the Archean Eon with those first single-celled life forms you were asking about. The Proterozoic, which is when complex cells appeared. And then Phanerozoic, which is the current eon and where most of the familiar life, plants, animals, us, evolved. Each of these is further broken into eras, periods, and epochs. It's like a huge family tree, but for the planet.
Okay, so my next question is what happened in the prehistoric age?
Prehistoric age is pretty broad. It covers most of Earth's history. So a lot happened. Dinosaurs roamed around for over 150 million years, then went extinct from that big asteroid impact. There were earlier periods with weird ocean creatures and plant life. First mammals showed up, then humans started evolving way later on. Basically, it's all the time before written record. So it's a big mix of different life forms, geological changes, and natural disasters shaping the world into what it is today. Do any particular prehistoric periods catch your interest? What else are you curious about?
Okay, so my next question is how do fossils help us understand history?
Fossils are like time capsules. They show us what kinds of creatures lived long ago, what they look like, and how they might have evolved over time. By studying where fossils are found and comparing them across different layers of rock, we can build up a timeline of life on Earth. Also, fossils can tell us about ancient environments. Did an animal live in the ocean, a forest, a desert? They're key for understanding evolution, past climates, and how different species are related to each other.
Okay, so my next question is what happened in the what caused the extinction of dinosaurs?
Yeah. What happened to the dinosaurs is really dramatic. The main story everyone agrees on is a massive asteroid slammed into Earth about 66 million years ago off the coast of Mexico. That impact sent dust and debris into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight for years. Plants died. Then the animals that ate those plants died, kind of like a domino effect. Some smaller dinosaurs and birds survived, though. Birds are actually modern day dinosaurs, which is pretty cool.
Okay, so my next
All
question
right, what's
is
next?
what is evolution?
Evolution is basically change in living things over long periods of time. Think about it. Animals and plants from today look different than they did thousands of years ago. And why? The main idea is survival of the fittest. Creatures with traits that help them survive and reproduce are more likely to pass those traits on to their kids. Over many generations, these small changes add up, leading to big differences between populations. That's evolution in a nutshell.
Okay, so my next question is what is water cycle?
The water cycle is just water moving. I didn't quite catch that. Could you repeat your question about the water cycle? That's totally fine. What would you like to talk about instead? And I'm sure I caught that, clearly. Yeah, no worries at all.
Okay, so my next question is why is water important for life?
Water is basically essential for all life we know about. Humans and animals need water to drink and stay alive. Plants need it to grow and make food. The most basic parts of our cells need water to even work. The water also helps regulate temperature on Earth, keeps weather patterns stable, and acts as this giant solvent to pull nutrients around. Pretty much everything from your body to our planet runs because of water.
Okay, so my next question is what are natural resources?
Natural resources are basically things that come from nature that we can use to help support our lives. That can include everything from water and forests to things like oil, gas, minerals, and metals. Well, but I think you might have said, okay, did you want to move to your next question?
Okay, so my next question is what is climate?
Climate is the average weather conditions in a place over a long period of time, like temperature, humidity, rainfall, snowfall, and stuff like that. It's what you expect the weather to be like generally in a specific area. Climate is different from weather, which is what's happening outside right now. Does that make sense?
How do humans use earth resources?
Oh, in tons of ways. We use wood from forests for building and paper. We use water for drinking, farming, and energy production. We get minerals and metals from the adios. Take care.
Okay, so my next question is what is the difference between weather and climate?
Okay, so weather is what's happening right now. Like if it's sunny, raining, or snowing today. Climate is what weather is usually like over a long period of time. Like summers are usually hot and winters are usually cold here. So weather is short term and climate is long term trends. Does that help clarify it? Are you ready for
Okay,
the
so
next
my next
question?
question is what causes earthquakes?
Earthquakes happen because of tectonic plates, those big chunks that make up Earth's crust grinding against each other. When they move, they can get stuck and then suddenly slip, which creates those big jolts we feel as earthquakes. These typically happen along fault lines, which are basically breaks in Earth's crust. They can be massive or pretty mild, like a tiny tremor that you barely notice. Make sense? What else would you like to explore about Earth
Okay, so
science?
my next question
All right.
is what are volcanoes?
Do you mean volcanoes? Volcanoes are basically mountains that can erupt with lava, ash, and gases. They form when magma, which is hot, molten rock, rises from Earth's mantle and builds up over time. When pressure gets too high, it erupts through the opening at the top. Pretty dramatic stuff, huh?
Okay, so my next question is how are mountains formed?
Mountains are pretty epic. Most of them form from tectonic plates, the same forces that cause earthquakes. When plates collide, they can buckle and fold, pushing up layers of rock to create mountain ranges. Some are formed by volcanoes too, like the ones we were just talking about. Over millions of years, weather and erosion carve out the final shapes we see today. Pretty cool, huh? Any Sorry, I'm not catching that very clearly. Could you repeat that part? I'm not gonna be a joke. That's
Okay, so my next question is how many continents are there?
There are 7 continents: Asia, Africa, North you know, couldn't I don't know, maybe, like, we most on a lot make in lash, man, very cool.
Okay, so my next question is how are mountains formed?
You mean mountains? Most mountains are formed from tectonic plates, those huge pieces that make up Earth's crust. When those plates collide, they can buckle and fold, which pushes up layers of rock to create mountain ranges over millions of years. Volcanoes can also form mountains when magma builds up and then erupts through an opening. It's a long process, but the result is these massive landforms we see today.
Okay, so my next question is what is tectonics?
Quickly check on that. Okay,
What
so
is
basically,
plate
Earth's
tectonics?
surface. Do you mean plate tectonics?
Yes.
It's the theory that the Earth's outer shell is broken up into these huge pieces, like puzzle pieces called plates. These plates are constantly moving around because of currents deep inside Earth. That movement causes things like earthquakes, volcanoes, and even mountains to form. Sorry, I wasn't clear. Plate tectonics is basically how Earth's surface is built and changes. It's why we have earthquakes, volcanoes, and mountains. The movement happens because of hot stuff inside Earth pushing and pulling those plates around. Okay, bye. No worries. I'm not catching what. Okay, well, thanks for talking about Earth science with me. Okay, you're not taking a break. Got
Okay,
it.
so my next question
What do you
is
want to
what is global warming?
check on that real quick? So basically, global warming is when Earth's average temperature is going up over time. It's been happening for the past couple hundred years. The main reason for this increase is all these gases getting released into the atmosphere from us burning fossil fuels, trapping more heat.
Okay, so my next question is how does pollution affect Earth?
Let me check on that. Um, Pollution really impacts the air, water, and land we have on Earth in lots of negative ways. Air pollution makes breathing harder for animals and people. I'm not sure what you said there. Could you repeat that? Oh, yeah. You can't take things back. I understand that. I get you. No, sorry about getting sidetracked. You were asking about
Okay, so my
pollution?
next question is what does what are renewable resources?
Just checking on that for you. Renewable resources are basically resources that I'm sorry, I'm having trouble. Um, you're saying right now? I mean, we can chat about something else?
Okay, so my next question is why is Earth called our home?
That's a nice question. It's called our home because it's the only place we know of where people can live, at least so far. Earth has everything we need to survive, like air to breathe, water to drink, and food to eat. It provides shelter and keeps us protected from the harshness of space. It's basically the only place we've found that can support human life.
Okay, so my next question is what makes Earth unique compared to other planets?
Let me check on that real quick. Earth is unique because of some pretty specific things. For starters, we have lots of liquid water, which is pretty rare in our solar system. We also have All right, take your time. I'll be here.
ओके, थैंक यू सो मच एवरीवन। ये मेरा लास्ट सीसीएम था। मिलते हैं किसी नेक्स्ट सीसीएम पर। तक के लिए अल्लाह हाफिज़।